Hey friends, so Bailey and I are here. Let's see if you can see. Bailey's like resting on my arm, so we will see how much of this I can get done. But I pulled out some of the things as I mentioned in my unboxing video that I might use some of this and work with the bookmark and the knotting. So yeah, so here is the bookmark. They cut it with a laser, so you need to make sure that you take the protective covering off. I always forget that part. I've colored on top of mine. Say, silly Amber. So it gets all caught in here. There we go. Make sure you get it all off. And I'm gonna paint it with, I think with paint pens. Just the flowers, just real simple. And it's so tiny. Looks like there's something there. Can't seem to get it off though. I don't know. Alright, well, I guess there isn't, but we've got some trash there. I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking, Lincoln, is that they're going to be white flowers with just like pink little lines in them. I gotta figure out which. I think that'll work. So just the middles and these lines. So hopefully that'll soak in okay to the wood. I don't know how I feel about that. I think we might have to do a white background. And it still looks like, yep, there was one there. Still looks like there's one here that I just can't get. I don't know. Maybe not. Alright, so we'll try maybe to paint the others white. How is this one not working? This one might be the one that's dead. We'll see. There it is. I'm still finding some of the paper on here. They make me think of dogwood tree flowers. That's what I was thinking. So they're white with like lines in them with a little bit of color. So that was why I went this direction. I'm going to just color over the pink. We'll come back and add it back in. This flower is going to be a little very pale pink because of the wet paint beneath, but I think that kind of works. I think that works. Color our buds over here. There we go. Oh, I like it with the white background. I think this has a finer point. Yeah, I think we'll use this. Color in those centers, pink, and some of the lines. It's hard because like the white paint's probably getting on the nib of this and making it harder. There we go. To paint because it blocks up the paint. Ooh, that was a big bubble. Can't tell I totally messed that one up, right? I'm happy with that. And then I'm going to add in some green to the leaves and the branch. Now that's gonna, there we go. Gotta get the green coming out, not the yellowish. Oh, that's a little too light. That's lettuce green. We don't want lettuce green because this isn't lettuce green. There we go. Oh, this little branch. A little bit of green in there. There we go. I think that looks lovely. Lovely, lovely. Right, Bales? Let's see, Bailey's here. Yeah, I'm laughing at you, Bailey. Laughing at you. All right, we'll put that to the side to dry, and we are going to try the Bead Tec knotting cord. And oops, that went to flying. All right. I'm going to make 4 lines there. Let's see how that goes. That's only 3, isn't it? I need 1 more. Need 1 more. There we go. Alright, knot it at the top. Oh, should have my knotting board. I don't know any idea where that is. Alright, so we are going to see what we can do here. Alright, maybe we can fit, see how large this hole is. Can we only fit 1 in? Probably. And it's already, this should be interesting. Alright, you'll need large hole beads for this. Let me see if I can flatten that out. That's why we do design on the fly, right? Oh, I don't know if that'll be any better. I actually think that's worse. But we'll see. Dog, you making this harder than it needs to be. All right, let's see. These holes larger, maybe. Gotta find a bead with a hole large enough to go on this thread. Oh, I can't use it, but that's what designing on the fly is all about, right? Playing with everything, and you guys seeing my mistakes. It does not look like it's gonna work. My goodness. Try the wet the end trick. Nope. These holes any bigger? Nope. But these. I don't know if they gave me any large hole beads. I would love to use the knotting cord, but I don't have large hole beads. Not gonna work. Alright. Ah! How's this gonna work? Oh my goodness. I really want it to work. Alright, I'll be back. We're gonna try this again. Sadly, I have tried all the beads they sent me and I can't seem to get them on there. So I was able to get this one bead from, it's a large hole bead from Jesse James on there. So we will try this. So knotting cord. So I'm doing right now doing a figure 4. Usually I would have my knotting board, which things are moving around in our house, so I'm not quite sure where it is. So I made a figure 4, this one making a figure 4, but I'm going underneath and back up through the hole I made with the other one. And now repeat, but going the opposite direction. So figure 4, wrap over that underneath my length and come up and pull, and there we go, we have our first knot. So I'm gonna try a different one of the Potomac beads on this strand, see maybe I can get it on there. Maybe I can get it to hold together. It's just touching the surface of the hole, but it's splitting the thread. That's not what I want. Ah, darn. Let's see if there's a bigger hole one. Maybe that one? I can attempt to burn the ends. Another trick is to glue them. I don't know where my glue is. It helps hold the threads together. The holes are just not big enough. Yes, these beads I made the play set with you guys the other day. I don't know if the smaller ones will fit on there, but I guess we'll find out. So these are just some large hole beads. I didn't try this one yet to see if I can get this one to work on our beading cord. Maybe that hole's big enough. Ooh, looking promising. There's a little tiny edge hanging out, but maybe if I trim it off. Not going through. No! Let's try this one. I'm bound and determined to use some of the beads they sent in the box. Ooh, this one's going in. We got one! Yay! Yay! All right. Okay, so I was looking for a needle. I have a wide mouth needle somewhere, so remember, crossover. Can you see it? Sorry, you can't see that. Oop. Nowhere. I guess my dog's upstairs. My daughter's awake now, so this has to go over top of the other one, but underneath the beading threads. One should be going through there. So you should be making kind of like a hole on both sides. Or like a loop, I mean. Now we repeat, go in the opposite direction. Oh, that bead popped out. We don't want that. Now we start on the left side. Cross over, go under, and up through. There we go. We've got 2 beads on there. Woohoo! We can attempt one of these again. Maybe the next one has a bigger hole. I don't know. We can attempt it. Ooh, I think it's going in. Yay! Are we still recording? Let's make sure we're still recording after all that work. Thought it was going in. I don't know what happened to my bead reamer. I'd use that right now. Let's see if I can open the hole up. It just needs a slight opening. Not much. Just a teeny tiny bit. Maybe this. Not a bead reamer though. Hopefully I won't crack my bead. Should really use bead reamers. I don't even know. Oh, here's a needle. Maybe that'll work. Doubt it. I tell ya. Bummerific. This knotting cord feels great, but it's coming undone really fast if the bead's not big enough. Hole is not big enough. Oh, I can't seem to. Sadly, well, at least we got to use the cathedral beads. Those are pretty. Remember, it goes underneath and back up through. If I had a knotting board, that would be great too. Make a backwards P, go under and up through. Pull tight. Let's see if we can get one more cathedral bead on here. And then we'll tie it to our bookmark. So there's no little strings hanging out. It goes on. So that's why I keep trimming it, because I don't need a long cord. I just need to be able to go through. And Bailey's back. Hi, Bales. I hear you. I'm almost done, sweet pea. Almost done. Make sure that's going through there. This one has to come up through here, and then we will pull. And then I'm going to do a couple of those knots to try and hold it. But the knotting cord, other than it's a little thick for the beads, it seems only the Picasso beads fit. Hi Bailey, I'll pick you up in a sec. Sadly, make sure. Yeah, uh-oh, dropping beads on the floor. Ah! No, Bales, leave it alone. Ah, So you'll have to play with your beads to see what will fit. Maybe your holes are slightly bigger than mine. I don't know. That very well could be. Because bead holes are not perfect. Most of the time they're pretty uniform, but there's always the chance that, you know, it didn't get completely drilled or what have you. So I'm just doing an overhand knot, just a run-of-the-mill overhand knot. There we go. And then on here, and the reasons I kept that loop is that I could pull these all possibly through. That last one through. And then I can slip all of this through that original loop. And that'll hold it. Look at that. So I guess these two don't need to be there. There we go. I can do some kind of knot back here, hopefully. Or I'll just trim that. I'll just trim those along with these other ones, and I'll find my glue, put a little dab of glue on my knots, and that should do it. There we go. So one little pretty fun bookmark with the beading thread and some of the beads from Potomac. Yeah, so there's our design on the fly. Why is it all blurry? I don't know. But those cathedral beads seem to work well with the knotting thread. So just play with your beads until you find some that will fit that. Yeah. All right, friends. Enjoy your next Potomac Bead Box.